Hello everybody. So if you are new to the series, this video will contain all spoilers of It Welcome to Derry Season 1, Episode 5, and any other episodes leading up to this point. Now, if you're returning, you may notice I have a very different background. That is because I am currently on vacation for Thanksgiving this year, and I am not home. And this is actually my first time ever recording in a comfortable chair. And on a side note, this really makes me want to invest in a comfortable chair. I have filmed over 100 videos on this channel. I would love to film in a chair like this, because the chair I have at home is not this comfortable. But that's a side note. Today we're here to talk about It Welcome to Derry Season 1, Episode 5. Now, because there is about 8 episodes last time I checked, I didn't realize, I thought there was 10, now I know there's 8. Let's just kind of do a breakdown of what we know before we get into this, because this episode really makes me think of what is an It series going to look like. This is what I expected from the start. But, so episode 1 we meet Maddie, who was running away from Derry and gets in a car that says anywhere but Derry. Turns out his hallucination and he's caught by Pennywise. Then we get introduced to Lily and the other group. I say Lily because I think Lily and Ronnie, because there's those two that stay. And with Lily and Ronnie, they become friend group with this other group. And the next episode, I believe, they go to a theater where they believe something is going on. They believe they have a clue as to what they can do to figure out to help Maddie. Well, Ronnie and Lily are the only one of 5 to escape. Keep this in mind for this episode. That only her and Ronnie survive. And Susie's brother, and one other person does not, who I deem conspiracy theory kid. Okay. Then episode 3 comes around. Now, I said that now Ronnie's dad was arrested for what happened to those kids in the theater. They believe Ronnie's dad did it. And Lily is a psych ward patient who has this threat of going back to the asylum in this town. Now, there's tension between these two because they want them to come out here. And here we are now. Then we get episode 4 where they have this, in episode 3 or 2, we get introduced to the new group of kids. We get a new kid moving in, Will. We got another kid and a friend. 2 of these friends, Teddy and one other, were supposed friends with Maddie. Or they were kind of paid off. It's kind of what was given off. Like, they weren't really friends, but they were doing it for other reasons. Lily felt bad for her because she was actually kind of his friend. She really kind of felt bad because he made a move on her and she rejected him, and she kind of feels guilt over that. Ronnie's dad owns a theater, so that's where they come and play. Then we can get this group of kids. Will's dad's moving into the military. That's kind of important. And then this episode, we get the kids going down to a sewer because Maddie comes along, and that's where I'm going to leave that for now. Now let's go to the military side. On the military side, at the first glance, we kind of don't really know what's going on. The sergeant comes in, he calls him in, and he's trying to and he has a hypnotizer coming in, and he is trying to get him to track down something, right? Obviously, at this point, trying to track down Pennywise. And when they track down Pennywise, he's kind of moving in of what's going on. And who's at the front of this? Will's dad. Now, then Will's dad is kind of finding out this with the sidekick on the plane, and Will and him have an encounter together where he's really freaked out of what's going on. And now the military have located this, what they're trying to find, and they go into the sewers. And this is where we meet Season 1, Episode 5, beginning. The military plan is brought in. It is confirmed that the military are trying to use him as a weapon, trying to isolate him. They find him into barriers. I didn't mention this before, but that is the storyline. On the side note here, we also learn the beginnings of it and how he kind of came onto it and how he was trapped into this barrier to begin with. And that's how we know. Going into episode 5, this is what I would traditionally think of. This is what a miniseries would be. This is what I think it is. And this is where we get the first glimpse of Pennywise himself in the dancing clown form, when Maddie is not found to be Maddie alive after all. We found out Maddie died, Susie, and everyone, and those 3 kids that originally was in the theater, is dead. Now, when we get these sightings, I think is really nice. I really enjoyed these. I think this is doing a really good job so far with that. I love the Pennywise things they use throughout. I don't think there's something too silly or too bad that like points out at me. I think the point of in the sewers even when the kids and the military obviously is guided by the Indians are trying to like get him into the trap him and kill him, I guess, right? They come in there, and then the kids are going there, obviously, and the idea was they were trying to save the other kids, but Maddie was Pennywise. And they kind of collide together, and that is where we kind of end the note. And that is a lot to learn and a lot of good episode. And I can't really go into more because that's mainly what the episode was. Like them kind of meeting in the middle of the storyline and just going to the sewers facing Pennywise. I really like Pennywise here too. I really like that transformation scene of him dancing clown. No notes for that. I really did enjoy this episode, and I am enjoying how this series is going. But with those how they kind of meet in my head, I think that right now, I hate that the tension between Ronnie and Lily is gone because I really enjoyed that in episode 2. And like I said, I like how we get more, we're going to where we're going, like how I thought it would be at the beginning. I don't think I mentioned that before, right? But I really think that the kids' storyline is a little weak compared to the military storyline, which I think is, better thought out long-term wise. And I like the story, how it gets up, especially with how the colonel's connected of him. I do not know military, guys, don't come at me. But he kind of turns out he was a kid, he saw all of this, and I was remembering it, trying to use it for a military weapon, which is interesting. And I do like those storylines, but I still think that one of the goofy, the eyes with Fayok was goofy, even though I don't know, I didn't like that way they totally looked. I think the biggest thing for me, the show, especially at the midpoint right now, is mainly I just don't know how I totally feel about the whole series overall. Like, I don't get me wrong, I do like it, I do enjoy it, I think there's some good visuals. But I don't know, I feel like it's just a good show for me. I don't think it's outstanding, but I'm having a good time with it. I do like it so far. To talk more specific about this episode here, I liked it so far. It's basically all just the kids and the military go into the sewers for different reasons, and they all just kind of run into each other, which I did enjoy. I liked when we saw the sidekick go, we kind of saw that trauma in the box, just how that was used against him in that way, and him coming out towards the end. Or is that him? I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. And then you get another one with Will's father where he thinks he sees his wife, but it's Pennywise, and he's kind of in that mindset of just shoot if it's not supposed to be in there. And he almost shoots his son Will when he runs into him, and his partner jumps in front of him and gets killed for it, so he wouldn't shoot his son. I mean, that was done very well. I mean, it hit really well. I think it works very well, especially with how manipulation Pennywise uses throughout. And the ending shot with him explaining what happened, I thought that was really well done. And that was the ending episode, which I can't wait to see what they do with that next, and how Will's father is going to work with the boys, with him being in the military. Didn't expect that full storyline. I expected the colonel to connect military, sorry. I don't know terms here. How Sergeant Colonel wanted him to, thought he would connect the dots to them, but he didn't. And also Charlotte was Will's dad's mom. Now Charlotte does play a role as well with Ronnie's dad of trying to help him prevent everything, and we do find out that Ronnie's dad got away, and he is with the woman that the white woman he was with, that he can't say where he was with because of the times, and she went to Charlotte, and that's kind of where it ends with that. So I think we're going in the right direction. I really like that. The stakes are high, although I feel like right now the repetitiveness of Lily going to Juniper Hill is kind of getting repetitive a little bit, but I still enjoy the storyline, but it's losing a little bit for me. Comment down below your thoughts so far on the 8 Welcome to Derry series and how you feel about it. Fan or no fan? Let's get some comments down there, some 8 fans down there. Alright, comment down below, and I'll see you guys soon with a brand new video.